Thanks for being here tonight. Is it nice to get out of the house? Even if it's to the grocery store again, right? It seems like it's the only place we go. My name is David Fish from the River 105.9. You may hear me on iHeartRadio as well. We've got a bunch of different great radio stations here in Connecticut, and we're a proud partner of Geisslers and the Hometown Foundation. Welcome to the Geisslers East Windsor Graduation Ceremony for 2020, right? I think they asked me to do this because I had my senior year 3 times, so I have lots of experience being at high school graduations. Keep in mind for tonight, we're going to honor all the social distancing guidelines that we need to. We're all used to it by now. Wearing these masks is uncomfortable, but laugh and cheer really loud behind them so everybody can hear you through them. That's my best advice as we make our way through this fun ceremony tonight, honoring some special kids who have been here on the front lines and been deemed essential employees at age 17 and younger, which is amazing when you think about it. I'm still not essential, and I'm in my 40s. I'm waiting for the call to be known as an important employee, but these kids are at the age of 17, and now they're graduates, which is pretty amazing. They're going to go on to do incredible things, and they've had a great experience here at Geisslers. And without further ado, I want to bring up Bob Rybrick from Geisslers. Bob, you're awesome. You've given these kids a great job, and they've made you proud.
Hello, family, friends, coworkers. Happy to have everyone here today at Geisslers. I'm excited and humbled to be able to host and recognize our essential workers who are also part of the graduating class of 2020. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce your Geisslers graduates from the class of 2020. Daniel Belson. Here he is. Emily Burston. Aaron Christensen. Mercedes Davis. Henry DeRoge. Connor Swanson. Catherine D'Onofrio. Timothy Little. And Samantha Spadaro. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present Geisslers East Windsor Supermarket graduating class of 2020.
All right, we've got some great commencement speakers for you tonight, because what graduation would be, a graduation without a good commencement speaker, right? And I want to introduce first, our first speaker tonight is East Windsor's first selectman, Jason Bauza. Jason, come on up. Put your hands together.
Good evening. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Before I get to my remarks, I just want to take a quick moment to recognize the folks who have supported you along the way, which is your parents, your teachers, and the folks here at Geisslers. Certainly, I don't think that anybody achieves great things without strong people behind them, and so it's important to recognize them at your graduation. So parents, teachers, and Geisslers folks, we certainly appreciate you all. But we're here to talk about the class of 2020. Today, we celebrate the completion of a meaningful chapter in your lives. As I was thinking about what that means and where we are right now and the times that we're in, I was thinking of an old Chinese curse, really, that says, "May you live in interesting times." Certainly, the class of 2020 has lived in interesting times. born amid the memory of 9/11 and the War on Terror. You guys grew up during the Great Recession, the largest economic crisis since the Great Depression. And now as you take your next step in your lives, whether that be into the workforce or furthering your education or maybe into the military, you're doing it amongst your third once-in-a-lifetime event. So, certainly the class of 2020 has had some experiences. The record highs that you saw, that we've seen just in the last 2 months in the stock market have disappeared, and they have been replaced by depression-level economics that will take some time to get over. The unemployment rate has gone from nearly none to something that is going to be something we all struggle for quite a while. But through all of the things you've already experienced, you guys have persisted. You've excelled. You've risen to the moments that have presented themselves to you, and you've surpassed them. Our culture is filled with traditions, with rites of passage. Over the generations, those traditions and rites of passage don't change very much. They're pretty common from one year to the next. But this class, as would only be proper because of your story so far, is experiencing those rites of passage in a different way. You'll remember tonight, I hope, and you should. It's in this place that you all have proven to anyone watching that this class can handle whatever life throws at you, and you will overcome. Many, many people have gone through those normal traditions and those normal customs in normal times, but you all will be creating for yourselves a new path that is unique to yourselves. This is just one more reason that your class is meant to stand out from the rest. We're here tonight to congratulate you on your success and accomplishments, and we are doing that from a grocery store. While you were taking final exams and writing your papers, you continued to work and provide a truly critical service to our entire community, despite what may have been happening in your own lives. Because of you, you made sure that people could still eat. Think about the urgency of that. Very suddenly, our community looked to you all and realized that you are truly, truly essential. It's becoming cliche to say this, but we're all in this pandemic together. What is clear, though, especially as I think about you as tonight's graduates, is that we celebrate tonight young men and women who are resilient enough to face the challenges the world gives them and to overcome those challenges. Tonight's graduates will go on to their next chapter, as you should. But whatever you do, you should go forth knowing that you've already proven that you are ready for the world and that you will be successful. I'm a big fan of Marvel movies. I've seen every one of them a bunch of times. And in one of the newer ones, Captain Marvel, there's this great scene where the hero has to keep getting up after she keeps getting knocked down, but she keeps getting up. And that's the whole point. Keep getting up no matter what. And so it is with your class. From 9/11 through the Great Recession into a once-in-a-century pandemic, you keep getting up. As you go on to your next chapter, keep rising, keep succeeding, keep showing the world that you will face the day on your terms. Your success is all that much more remarkable because of what you've had to endure along the way. So I come back to that Chinese blessing at the beginning of my speech. May you continue to live in interesting times. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
You know, Muhammad Ali once said, if they made penicillin out of moldy bread, you'll be okay, right? That was your line? So I want to bring up our next speaker in the ceremony. Christopher Kervick is the Windsor Locks first selectman. Christopher, come on up, address the class of 2020.
All right, I'm going to try and talk through this mask. So, your graduation year, the one you look forward to, it's exciting. It got all messed up. There's no sugarcoating that. It kind of stinks, doesn't it? It's like, the one that I was waiting for, and now it's all messed up. So I'm not going to try and tell you that it's all, wonderful, because it's not. It's a change. It's something you didn't expect. But, I am going to try and find the silver lining, if you will, because there is something that you've gotten out of this, and it's a gift. And it may be not a gift that you necessarily see the value of now, although I think some of you probably do, because Geisslers only hires really smart people anyway. Right, Mr. Rybeck? Sure. So, but if you don't get it now, I know you'll get it in time. And what it is, the gift is that, let's explain it this way. Horace Bushnell, he's the guy that named Bushnell Park in Hartford and the Bushnell Auditorium. He said that the true hero is the wise man of duty. And the way I interpret that is that there's just value in work. There's value in when you make a commitment to do anything, and including to work, to show up when you're expected, to follow through on that commitment and to do your job. And just getting up and doing that on a day-to-day basis, through thick or thin, and this has obviously been, one of those unusual times, there's value in that. Heroes don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to do something heroic today. Really, they're just doing their duty. Whether that duty is, is to just get up in the morning and get in a shower and go to work. And even if they didn't really want to do it that day, they follow through. They grind it out. And where the gift comes in is that some people go an entire career, 35, 40 years, working in a job. Maybe they like their job, maybe they don't like their job, but they show up and they do their job, but they never get to see, or very rarely get to see, how does that work impact the world? If I go in and I'm pushing this widget from this side of the table to that side of the table in a factory, I may spend 40 years doing that, and I take care of my family, and I provide for myself, but I may not actually see how it has an impact. But you, at at your young ages that you are, you have this gift because you, through a really weird circumstance, you got to see how just this job, this thing you do to earn a few bucks, this job impacts the world. It makes a difference. And they talk about essential workers and not all workers are essential. That's my opinion, all workers, because there's value in work, there's a dignity in work, and if you get up and whatever job you have, if you do it diligently and you make good on your commitment, then you have value, and you're putting value into the world. And you guys got to see that. So whether you, in 20 years, are working in the food service industry, or whether you've gone on and you're doing great things in medicine or science or law or whatever it might be, you learn the lesson here that just getting up in the morning, showing up and doing my job has value. It helps the world. And it really, literally helps the world, what you guys do. And so I think that's an important lesson, and I hope you remember that lesson, because it's a gift that you guys got, and I know it's a silver lining in an otherwise big cloud, but it's a gift, an opportunity at a young age to see that, and that's something that a lot of people spend a whole lifetime and don't get a chance to see. So at least you can take that from all of this. At least you can take that, and everyone here in this room is proud of you guys. So keep it up, and this too shall pass. Thank you.
One of the neat things about a company like Geisslers is it's family run. Everybody here cares about each other, and you guys experienced that firsthand. Well, Geisslers, of course, is run by IGA, which is one of the biggest grocery chains in the country. The president of IGA in Chicago heard what we were doing here tonight and heard about how the staff here at Geisslers tried to put this event together and kept it a secret for weeks, right? That he wanted to send a message. So I think it's pretty cool that a CEO of a Fortune 500 company is right about to give you your high school commencement speech. So put your hands together for John Ross from IGA. He sent a video message for you guys, special for tonight.
Well, hello everyone. This is John Ross, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm the CEO of IGA, and I am so excited to be here to doing a commencement speech for this 2020 graduation. This is the first time I've done a commencement speech and done it digitally, so obviously this will be interesting, but I think we should have a good time here today. Now I know, and all of us know, this isn't the graduation you were expecting. Your parents, your extended family, all your friends and coworkers, we all know this. COVID-19 has disrupted everything. And it disrupted this rite of passage from high school to college, or from college to grad school, or to work, or wherever you go from here. It's really disrupted your transition from student to adult. And what you were thinking, we're thinking the same thing. We're sympathetic. It just isn't fair. What should have been hasn't been. Caps and gowns in these huge auditoriums filled with friends and family, long boring speeches from adults trying to give meaning to this event, and all the parties, which by the way are the coolest part about the whole thing, all of that has been at best delayed. And the emotions that go along with graduation, this rite of passage from one thing to another, it's all been squashed by a virus we can't see or taste or feel, at least not until we're ill. And the formal celebrations have at least been changed into something that we didn't see coming and that none of us would have expected even just a few weeks ago. Who would have expected to be inside of a grocery store doing a graduation celebration? Now, the thing about commencement speakers is that we all feel the need to give meaning to this event. And it is weird, right? You've got weird hats on and you've got the Harry Potter robes and the whole thing going on. And all of us that have gone through it and sat in rooms listening to experts give commencement addresses, and then those of us who were students ourselves at one time and went through it, all of us try to put meaning and to invest into it, often by telling stories from our youth or anecdotes that the parents love and maybe the kids just tolerate. We do this whole exercise in order to mark a transition from one thing to another. And in doing it, we try to invest it with meaning, to invest this event with meaning. But this is not a normal year, and it isn't a normal graduation, and it certainly isn't what any of us expected. But I'm going to make the case that it's better. And it certainly isn't the kind of better that you would hear in a normal commencement speech. It's not, some, transformation of the opportunity in the global sector or economy strength or, the opportunity to change a world that needs leadership and change and all the other things that you would hear. It's better because of what folks like you, the graduates of 2020, have been doing. And I would say that this is a more meaningful graduation than probably any graduating class in modern history. Now, you stand today in a store, not a lecture hall, and the people around you, the folks that organized this, they wanted to celebrate not your graduation, not some arbitrary event on an academic calendar. They wanted to celebrate you and how much they care for you. So no matter how weird it is that you're in a store, and no matter how boring my speech is, you'll know this experience was crafted for a group of young people whose behavior in this crisis deserves recognition. As each generation comes and goes, they are often defined by the major events of their time. The World War II generation, the atomic generation, the digital generation. In my case, it was the disco generation, and that's not particularly something I'm proud of. But anyway, each generation is defined by the events that happen in and around it, as if those events may define something about their character and how they will behave as adults. And unfortunately, you young men and women, you may become known as the COVID generation, like it or not. And historians and sociologists will publish papers for years on the changes in human behavior pre and post global pandemic. Like the kids who graduated in 1942 after Pearl Harbor, or the ones that graduated in 2002 after the 9/11 attacks in New York and Washington, you are going to be forever identified with your times. You and your peers, you COVIDians, you're the survivors of the great global pandemic. And you will be studied and researched for years after the disease is long gone, as experts wonder what living through these times, through a global pandemic, does to change the outlook of our next generation of young adults. And here's where I garner great hope. Young people like you, putting yourself through school and working for a local grocery store, doing what you do every day, has made you part of an American service that our government and your community and your families have all come to know as essential. That means that bagging groceries and working the front end and restocking and picking for e-commerce and all the million things that you do in an everyday, these hard things that you do every day, the world has finally come to realize that what you do is important. It's necessary. It's critical. And I say it's heroic. Now, heroic, that probably isn't the word that you used when you first took your job at Geisslers IGA, but it couldn't be more true. However hard your job was before COVID-19, it's way harder today. Some days it may seem impossibly hard. But the real stress is probably not the tasks that you do, but the fear, the systemic fear of the risk that any of us working in these customer service jobs are taking. Like first responders, military, police, healthcare workers, you're on the front lines of a battle against an enemy that's microscopic in size, but one that's been able to lay waste to the global economy like no crisis in modern history. And the traffic in our stores means you're exposed to more humans a day than probably almost any job outside of an emergency room at a hospital. That means you come to work every day thinking about the risks you face, and not just the risks to you, but of course the real scary thing is the risk of unintentional infection on others. And that's on top of what it's like to work retail, which is never easy, and yet you still come. Because if you didn't come, the cruel fact is that Americans would starve. Our associates at Geisslers IGA and the other 1,200 IGA stores in the US and the 6,000 IGA stores worldwide, and all the stores supported by licensed distributors or wholesalers like Bazzuto's, what we do every day, normally people don't think about it. 40,000 SKUs in stock, 99% in stock rates, trucks coming in, all the things that we do to make food only a few moments away from any American table. That's heroic on a good day, on an easy day. And of course, in this crisis, it takes really special people dedicated to doing the hard work to make it all work when many of the pieces don't seem to work at all. Now, while your peers stayed at home playing Animal Crossing or watching episodes of Tiger King, you've been braving crowds of shoppers because they need us to stay open. And you've been dealing with the stress of what it means to stay in stock as demand is stored. And like all of Geisslers, you've been working hard to stay positive and upbeat with consumers in a scary time, right? People in masks and people don't know what's right or wrong or how to make judgments about safety. It's been a scary time for all of us. And honestly, that tension doesn't stop, does it, right? It doesn't stop at work. Because the next morning you wake up, you got a headache, and you sniffle, anything, you constantly are asking yourself, do I have it? And if I have it, did I pass it on to anyone else? Now, all for the parents and all the adults and all the Geisslers associates, all our Bazzuto's workers, let me give you an insight. We've been able to keep IGA associates safe worldwide, hundreds of thousands of associates following these simple protocols. And I know you're bored of hearing about washing your hands and wearing proper safety gear and not touching your face, all the stuff that we've been saying. Well, it has worked for IGA. And unlike many other retail stores across the world, we haven't had massive outbreaks. In fact, I know of no COVID-19 infections, and even in our stores in China. So what we're doing is working to keep you safe. And hopefully we've passed the peak of this in most markets. And although we're not out of the woods, maybe we can see the end in sight. I don't know where you guys go from here. Whether going on to college, some of you go into graduate school or technical school, some will go into the workplace. Some of you may stay with IGA, and that would be awesome. We'd love to have you stay. Wherever your course takes you, know that this experience will serve you well. Future employers will know that you braved a scary world, and you did a really hard job when others wouldn't or couldn't. And that will be meaningful to you in consideration for whatever you do in the future. Future bosses will know that you stayed the course when times got tough, and that you rose to meet demand, even when that demand was double or triple anything that our stores had seen before. And your kids, one way, I know that's hard to imagine now, but your kids one day will know that you, the COVIDians of 2020, you helped our communities be safe and to survive. And in my book, that is heroic. Now, we forwarded this invitation for this Geisslers graduation celebration. I know the Geisslers folks know this, but we forwarded it to all of our IGA global list. And that includes thousands of grocery stores all over the world. It includes wholesalers and suppliers, the CEOs of some of the biggest consumer packaged goods companies in the world. Who knew that a graduation taking place on the floor of a local grocery store would get such attention? But yet all those folks attending, digitally or will watch this later by recording, all of them, they know what I know, right? That you are essential workers. You're the young people who stood up and stayed the course, even when others were frightened and isolated. You came to work and you did what you needed to do to keep our communities fed and safe. And for all of that, we want to celebrate not a graduation, but we want to celebrate you. Your courage, your drive, your dedication, and all the things that you did to make your community work. So, young IGA graduates of the class of 2020, I salute you. I and the entire IGA family are proud of you. And we know that you will go on to do great things. congratulations.
Pretty cool speech, right? I know that these times right now that we're in are uncertain, but they're also thrilling. And what you guys are going to go through over the next few years are going to be the stories that you're going to tell your grandkids about. So I think you should just try to look forward to it still. I think there's a lot that you've learned here, which is clear by what everybody is talking about and how highly they're speaking of you today. And before we bring Bob back up, we have a video that we've put together of your time here at Geisslers, making some of these memories and helping serve your communities.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. I've had the time of my life. No, I never felt like this before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I've had the time of my life. No, I never felt like this before. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. Do you really wanna live forever, forever and ever? I will remember you. Forever young. Will you remember me? And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. And I've had the time of my life. I hope you had the time of your life.
That was pretty good, right? We're gonna bring Rob. You see, you're crying. You're crying in a supermarket, right? Before we bring Bob back up, it's neat. You guys are going to take this next journey in your life, and you've got so much enthusiasm and hair and energy, and you've had more brain cells now than you're ever gonna have in your life. So get after it, do your thing. Bob was gonna have a Geisslers onesie jumpsuit made up for the graduation today, but the tailor couldn't fit him in time. But he said when you come back for your reunion, he'll have the Geisslers onesie on that he'll wear for your 5-year reunion party that he's gonna throw for you. And by the way, the lotto tickets that were in the video, those are yours too as your graduation present. Everybody here gets all right. Bob Rybick, I'm sorry. I gave away your lotto tickets.
Thanks. I thought it was going to be hard to give a graduation speech without fogging up my glasses with a mask on, but it's even a little harder when you get a tear in your eye after watching that. We've heard from our local leaders in our community, as well as John Ross, who understand the global effects of this pandemic. The one thing that most people will never understand is what you know. How your efforts to help your local community in times of need have a more broad impact on the world. It's people like you, through your bravery, compassion, and empathy, that will have the largest impact on the world, as those traits you have and the skills you have honed during this pandemic carry with you the rest of your lives. And while what we are experiencing is certainly different than many events in history, I wanted to look to the hardships of the past to see if there was some inspiration that we could draw on for our own futures. When I was thinking about how best to summarize all of this, I found this quote by Theodore Roosevelt from his famous Man in the Arena speech. This speech was given over 100 years ago. That's longer than Geisslers has been around. And I think it applies to all of you and your efforts over the past several months. It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm and great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best, in the end, triumphs of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never know victory nor defeat. As you enter your next phase of your journey, remember you are one of the ones who was in the arena, who is not afraid to fail, and who dared greatly. You're all much stronger than you think, and I have no doubt you will find your path to success. And before we present the diplomas, there is one more person who wanted to take part in this ceremony. So let's take a look.
So I bet you didn't expect to see me here, sharing in your surprise this evening. But here I am because you are so special to me, all 6 of you. And I stand here in front of your rock. Your handprints are here as a memento of the class of 2020. This is where it all began. Good evening, select members of the class of 2020. This means you, Aaron, Mercedes, Danny, Henry, Connor, and Emily. It is my honor to be sharing in this surprise with you, your parents, and your family as your superintendent of schools. As I thought about what I would share with you this evening, my mind couldn't help but think something's wrong. As you know me all too well, I would rather be present with you and your entire 100+ classmates sharing this message. For many decades, we have celebrated high school graduation in the same formal way. With pomp and circumstance, we want the day to be distinct, unmistakable, and linked to countless ceremonies and traditions of the past. No matter how many graduations I attend, as I see that last Windsor Locks High School graduate form in the line and make their last walk, I feel like I might cry. But this year, I have that same feeling as many of your parents probably do, and you do. But why? Because I know history found you. An event that changed the way we live was sweeping around the globe, and it found you, the class of 2020. As your long, strange spring break was extended week after week, the truth began to settle in. You embraced it, you went to class, you stayed connected, you came to work and supported our community. You went to class in your childhood bedrooms, or at your kitchen table, or sat on your front steps to find a little privacy. You did it with computers and Google Meet and Zoom and group chats. You wrote papers, you took notes, you did experiments in virtual labs, and you tackled complex problems. You even tackled a new way to take the AP test. It would have been easy not to do this and to give up. But you, Aaron, you, Connor, you, Mercedes, you, Henry, you, Emily, and you, Danny, whom we celebrate today, did not give up. You kept going, and now in this strange situation, without pomp and circumstance, you in your childhood bedrooms, scattered far away from all the friends you expected to be with, are about to become Windsor Locks High School graduates. And we and I are grateful, because I and we need you. We need the free thinkers that you are, because now more than ever before, we need people who can look at the world in a rational way and make decisions based on fact and reason. It is my hope that through this challenging time, every single one of you, that you maybe have gained something important. Maybe as very young people, you know something powerful, that you have never been put yet to another test, and you did not falter. You kept going, as you have since you came to Windsor Locks Public Schools. You persevered, and although you're entering a very different world from the one you expected, it's a world that needs you. Nothing in life is better than being needed. I know, as your parents know, that you are ready for what lies ahead. Why? Because you are the members of the great class of 2020, and I and your community know you didn't give up. Congratulations, and thanks for sharing this special moment with me.
I bet you guys didn't expect that, but I doubt you expected any of this tonight. So before we get on to the part that I'm sure you're all waiting for, I just wanted to take a few minutes to thank a few people that I hope are floating around here somewhere. First, Cindy Collette, the store manager. Cindy, if you want to come up here, I have some flowers for you. And Judy Guthrie, our front end manager. It was Judy's original idea to have this event, and I simply said, okay. From there, it obviously grew into something much bigger, and for that, I want to thank Bizzuto's and their charitable arm, the Hometown Foundation, for all of the great audio-visual equipment that was provided here. So, ladies, these are for you. All right, and now the moment we've all been waiting for. Before I call up each graduate, we're going to watch a short video, and then after that, please come up and receive your diploma.
Daniel Bellison is graduating from Windsor Locks High School after excelling on and off the field. He was two-time All-Conference in football and All-Conference in winter track. From the moment that Danny started his career at Geisslers, we were so impressed by his kindness to others. He is the first one to offer assistance to a customer or a coworker in need. We have had customers compliment him, and he truly deserves the accolades. He is a team player in every sense. This is why we are sure that Danny will succeed in this world. Danny will be attending Western New England University in the fall, and we hope that he will return to visit and buy jelly beans.
Danny, please come up and receive your diploma.
Emily Burston loved her years in high school. She was part of the show choir group Vocal Motion for 4 years. She entertained us being a part of the Windsor Locks Theater Group for 4 years. She shined as Cinderella in the school production of Into the Woods. Emily is a very talented vocalist. She participated in many of the school's solo nights, which showcased her amazing voice. Emily is always happy and friendly with the customers. She has a sunny disposition, and we are going to miss her smile. Emily will be attending the University of Hartford in the fall.
Emily, please come up.
Aaron Christensen is the vice president of the senior class at Windsor Locks High School. Anyone that knows Erin knows that she loves to stay busy. She is a proud member of the school's show choir and has had various roles in the school's theatrical productions. She is a member of the National Honor Society and is in the top 10% of her class. When she isn't hanging out with friends or performing, Erin enjoys family trips to Cape Cod and visiting Disney. Erin will be greatly missed here at Geisslers, but we know big things are waiting for her. Her smile brightens every room, and we wish nothing but health and happiness for her. Aaron plans to attend Quinnipiac University in the fall as a member of their Physician's Assistant Prep program and is majoring in health sciences.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Our next graduate is Mercedes Davis. Her mom says that she is one of the strongest young adults that she knows, and we at Geisslers all agree. At the age of 10, she was diagnosed with a rare bone disease, but her hard work and determination brought her through, returning her to the game that she loves, which is basketball. She is now enrolled at AIC for a doctorate of physical therapy to help others get back to the sport that they love. Her mother said, "When COVID hit, I knew that she could get through this, as she has overcome far worse and come back stronger. She might be missing a lot of firsts and a lot of lasts, but she stands strong." We at Geisslers will miss Mercedes. She is a very well-rounded young lady, capable of any task that is asked of her. Anyone that comes in contact with Mercedes will walk away with nothing but happiness.
Mercedes.
Henry Desroche is an honest, genuine young man who enjoys being with his friends, kayaking, fishing, or just enjoying the outdoors. His interest in sports began at an early age as a soccer player and developed into a varsity swimmer and track and field athlete. He attended the Boys State Leadership Conference last year, an annual honor reserved for 4 boys from our town, sponsored by the American Legion. A natural and accomplished musician, he earned spots in the Northern Connecticut Regional Concert Band, playing the trombone in 6th grade, and also the Northern Regional Orchestra playing tuba in his senior year. He exhibited community service as a 4-year member of the Leo Club, as an altar server at our local parish for 9 years, and by volunteering as a member of Stage Crew Productions, middle and high school. We will miss many things about Henry, but one thing that we won't miss will be trying to reach the computer monitor after he has adjusted it to his height, and we have to stand on our tippy toes. Henry has enlisted in the United States Air Force and is leaving this fall to serve our country.
Henry.
Connor Swanson was involved in freshman basketball, had perfect attendance in his sophomore and junior years, and was inducted into the National Honor Society. Connor's first day at Geisslers was a Sunday, and we were short-staffed. Connor completed every task as if he had been doing it for years. We decided that it was because his Geisslers career had started over 18 years ago while he was in his mom Diane's belly. We will miss Connor's dry humor and wit. Connor will be attending the University of New Haven in the fall to study forensic science.
Connor Swanson.
Katie D'Onofrio is an associate graduate from Asnuntuck Community College. She is a kind and caring young woman, which is evident in the fact that she is serving her community both at Geisslers while grocery delivery shopping for local residents and at Cindy's Soap Cottage providing masks and hand sanitizer for the public. In her spare time, she volunteers at the local fire department and coaches youth cheerleading. We will miss her kind and friendly personality. This fall, she is returning to school to pursue her dream of becoming an art teacher.
Katie.
Tim Little has worked for Geisslers for almost 5 years. After graduating high school, he began his pursuit of higher education, all while working full-time at Geisslers. He has worked on the front end, in produce, and in the dairy department. He also finds himself decorating for the holidays or reaching for items that those of us that are vertically challenged cannot get. Tim has completed his associate's degree of science in civil engineering. He plans to pursue a career with the Department of Transportation or other public works organizations once hiring resumes. He also plans to transfer to a four-year college to continue his education in the pursuit of his bachelor's degree. His family and his Geisslers family are very proud of him.
Tim? I'm sure Tim will never need one of these in his life. If he does, we've built the store too high.
Samantha Spadaro, affectionately known to us as Sam, will be graduating as a four-year Dean's List student from Westfield State. Sam has become a quiet leader, training those around her while exhibiting sincerity and empathy. Despite finishing her undergraduate degree, sitting alone at a computer screen, she has found a silver lining. It has created some additional time in her schedule to continue working at Geisslers and provide assistance to others. Samantha has always been the cheerful and friendly face, training new front-end employees at Geisslers. She will soon earn her Bachelor of Arts degree with a focus in business marketing. We have no doubt that any company would be lucky to have Samantha on their team.
Sam? How about a round of applause for our college graduates? And now, ladies and gentlemen, Geisslers East Windsor graduating class of 2020. We have one more little surprise. If you guys want to make your way to the front of the store, in a socially distant fashion, of course.
It's the truth, and I owe it all to you. Do you really wanna live forever, forever and ever? I will remember you forever young.
What an incredible night and what an incredible memory the class of 2020 will have here at Geisslers. My name is Fish from the River 105.9, a proud iHeart radio station. On behalf of IGA, Geisslers, and the Hometown Foundation, thank you so much for watching, and good luck to the class of 2020.
I hope you had the time of your life.